Okay, welcome to my portfolio. First of all, I wanted to notice that I did a PowerPoint presentation about all the activities that I did in the classroom and all the things that I have learned. This model was about enhancing communication skills of ESL and EFL learners. And this model we learn about teaching philosophy, some techniques that we can use with our students, some experiences that we did in classes. And I'm going to explain a little bit about this. First of all, the first class was about diversity in the classroom, and I took some important points that I learned in this class. So first, as a teacher, you have to examine your teaching materials. You have to know that for each class, you need a material. It can be a book, a slide presentation, maybe a computer. Maybe you can use another materials, yeah, like objects, books. I don't know. You have to get to know your students and their backgrounds. You have to be a friend, or in my case, a mom with my children. You have to address inequality. You have to know that the inequality in the classroom is not permitted. Have to connect with parents, have to get in touch with them, have to know what is happening in their houses, what is happening with them, what are the problems that they are experimenting. I don't know. You have to be like a friend, like a psychologist, and everything that a teacher needs to have a real communication with students. Seek out PD opportunities around diversity initiatives. Be honest about and aware of your own cultural biases. Include classroom signs in multiple languages. Invite guest speakers into your classroom. This is a good option to invite guest speakers. You can invite a native person, a native English speaker to your class, because that person can share another type of thing with your students. That person could have another culture, another way of thinking, and they can learn about it. I remember that when I was child, all my English teachers were native speakers, and I share too much things with them. For example, I exchange with them some cultural points. In my case, I learned English in the high school. I just take some courses in English, but most of the time I learn in my high school, and I'm so thankful for that, because I had native speakers, teachers, and that was an awesome opportunity to learn more about English. And the last thing says, take field trips to cultural events in your community. For example, if you're in a public school and the school is in the rural area, or maybe in the countryside, you can do an activity. For example, you can celebrate the 4th of July, and that place you can speak to your students about that day and what is important and how's the culture in other countries, and you can invite people that can go there. The other class was about teaching philosophy, and I learned that this is a statement that explains your perspective on teaching and how you will apply that perspective to your teaching. There are two important things that you have to know about teaching philosophy. One is explains teaching strategies and goals. And this is not theoretical or conceptual asset, but a narrative of your teaching. And to write a teaching philosophy, you, as a teacher, you have to reflect your teaching beliefs and practices, review examples, do your research, write, and evaluate. In basic terms, teaching philosophy should be 1 to 2 pages in length, never more than 4. A personal and reflective narrative, evidence for your beliefs of teaching and learning, a representation of your experiences and practice, and a presentation of your strengths. This is the structure. The structure is about a title, thesis statement, narrative summary. There is no template for teaching philosophy, but it can help to look at some examples. Teaching philosophy, you can use some authors that can be useful in that way. For example, one of my favorite author is Vygotsky with his theory, with his constructivist theories, which enhance students to talk more, to have a real communication part in the class. And this is good for them to talk, to speak in English, and not have fear about what they are saying, and have a better critical thinking way of learning. So what should be included? I take some points. I take some important points about the center of for teaching, and I am going to read some of them because I have no more time to talk. Theoretical framework, what does learning, not teaching look like? How does learning take place? You have to notice that what you're doing what you are doing, you have to know that. And why did you do what you are doing in class? An instructional goal says, what do you want students to learn in your class? Maybe in my case, I don't want perfect students. I don't want the most beautiful students with the best pronunciation. I just want students that could have no fear about talking in English. I would like to have students that instead of all the grammar and all the things that as an English teacher I teach to them, I want students which have their own beliefs, their own values, their own things that can help them to grow up on to grow up as an empathic person, for example. What matters in your subject and in the school experience. This is a design and implementation. What type of learning environment do you feel can accomplish your goals, and what is the role and what is the role for students in your course design? And last, assessment and evaluation. What kinds of assessment do you use and where they are effective for you? What about self-assessment skills for students? What basis do you use for assigning grades? I like to use rubrics, and I like to use summative evaluation because it can help me to know what there are the strengths parts and things that they can do better. And documentation and reflection, what have you learned about your teaching from examining student work, and refer to any specific artifacts or documents in your portfolio to provide concrete examples of your teaching and student learning. We learn about talk table. Talk table is a good technique in which all the students can learn a lot about a certain topic that they can talk to them. And this is a good activity because one person of the group can go by all the groups, and you can change the topic in each group and they can discuss it. But my most effective technique is the debate. I love debates because in these debates I learn a lot about their opinions and what they can improve in that way. And besides, we learn about the Pecha Kucha technique, about presentations. Pecha Kucha is a good option to students for, I think that is a good option for beginners because you have just 20 seconds per slide to talk, and this is good for me. And the pitch is a presentation, is a short presentation in which you introduce your company, product, or idea. In this case, you can introduce what you are thinking about a certain topic, and it has just 20 minutes. You have just 20 minutes to talk with all the presentation. This is an example of pitch. And the pitch desk presentation. First, you have introduction, you have a problem, solution. This is for marketing, I think, but it can also be applied in our teaching process. And my most beautiful topic was drama jama. It was the last activity that we did. And I love the Shrek presentation. And this is a good technique that I use in all my classrooms. In the last year, I did a drama, but it was about um, I don't know how to say, but in Spanish we tell that historias. I don't know how to say it in English, but we did the drama about La Dama Tapada and La Llorona. It was also for me because my students take the time to have their dress, their speaking part. Some of them were nervous, but they did it well. I hope that in these years I could do a drama jama like this with fairy tales stories, so they can share with me all their their personal their personal experience, and that is awesome for me. So that's all for me. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed your day, and see you. I hope to see you in in what time. So goodbye.